Today on Hot Thai Kitchen we are making ผัดชาปลา Sawadika, welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today we're making a recipe that's very quick, simple, and super healthy that you can easily whip up for a weeknight dinner, which is always good to have in your repertoire of recipes. The real reason why I wanted to show you this recipe is because it uses two of the very important herbs in Thai cuisine that for some reason I have not used at all in any of my other recipes, and that's just not right. So we gotta fix that. So the dish is called Pad Cha Pla, and Pad means to stir fry. Cha is the onomatopoeia word for the sizzling sound. You add something to a hot pan and it goes cha, right? And pla is fish. So it's a very straightforward stir fry of fish with lots and lots of herbs. So here are our ingredients. So the first herb that is the star of this dish, you cannot have pad cha without it, is what we call grachai, or in English is called finger root. And they grow underground, they're a rhizome, just like ginger and galangal, and they grow like mad in my house in Thailand. It's got a very refreshing, cooling, woodsy aroma. It's kind of like Chinese medicine, but in a good way. And it's also got a bite to it, a zingy flavor to it. It's really hard to describe, so you really got to experience it for yourself if you haven't used it before. Fresh ones are really hard to find, so if you cannot find fresh, look for brined ones would come in a jar like this, and they're actually relatively easy to find in a lot of Asian grocery stores. Sometimes they come whole, but a lot of times they'll come shredded up like this, which is good because most of the time this is how we use it. We're gonna have to chop it up anyway. Often labeled rhizome in brine, which I know doesn't make any sense, but anyway. Look for gachai. Sometimes it's called galingal, which is, I'm not sure that's an actual word, but just look for this. You can't mistake it. If it looks like that, that's what it is. Okay, so that's one. Works really well in fish recipes. Most of the time we use gachai in fish recipes because it works well to soften any fishiness of the fish. So the second ingredient that's very important is what we call prik thai on, or young peppercorns. I don't have any fresh ones for you today because I don't have any, but I have a brined one which also works really well. When things are brined, they actually hold up pretty well. And these are basically what your black and white peppercorns used to be before they were dried and processed. So it's just a young green pepper, and it's got a very peppery aroma, but what it does, it's a different kind of heat it's quite hot, but it's a different kind of heat from chilies. It feels like the temperature of your mouth is actually rising when you bite into one of these. So what I did is just take them off into little rounds like this, just take them off the stems so that you get like one or two in every bite. But if you're afraid that it's going to be too hot for you, leave them on the stems, toss the stems in, and then people can sort of pick the seeds off the stems as they eat it. So one last thing I want to talk about before we get started is the fish. I'm using halibut today because it's a nice firm flesh fish, which is good for stir frying. You can use other types of fish. I've used tilapia, works really well. Leaving the skin on is nice because the skin will help hold the fish together and it won't break so easily. Other types of seafood is very common for this dish. Shrimp, scallops, if you're feeling fancy. Squid, if you like squid, works really well as well. So you can be creative on that department. And I've just got the fish marinated in half a tablespoon of fish sauce. I know it's like fish sauce on fish. It's like super fishy fish, but no, it's gonna be good. Just put the fish sauce on while you're prepping other ingredients. It doesn't need to sit for 2 hours or anything like that. And I cut it into large-ish cubes so they don't break too much when we're going to stir fry them. Okay, so that's all I need to talk about as far as ingredients go. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is make an herb paste. So think of this as like a simple curry paste, okay? So we've got our garlic in here and also our cilantro roots, which I have chopped up. You can also do a bunch of cilantro stems if you don't have. Some Thai chilies, as much as you'd like. White peppercorns. It's a little bit redundant because we have the young peppercorns already, but you know, I love white pepper, so I'm gonna add it. So that's another thing, if you don't have the young peppercorn, just put in extra white peppercorns. My spur chilies, which I have cut up, and if you don't have spur chilies or what we call prik chi fa, just use any mild peppers. What we want is the chili pepper flavor without the heat. So you can use bell peppers if you really can't find anything else, or any other chilies that are available in your local grocery. It doesn't even have to be red. It can be green, orange, whatever. Okay, and now we're just gonna pound it into a paste. And by the way, this paste right here is the great base for any other stir fry you might want to do. So there, you just want to get it to something like this where there are no more big chunks, but it's not completely liquefied. You know, a little bit of roughness texture is good. So we're gonna set that aside, and that's it. All we have to do is stir fry it up. So as per any other stir fry, you always want to make sure all your mise en place is ready to go because it goes very quickly, especially this one. So you want to get just a little bit of oil, heat it in a wok or a large saute pan. You don't want to get this super hot because if you get it so hot, you might instantaneously burn your garlic and all this stuff. So a little bit hot is okay. You can even let it heat up together. When the fish goes in though, you want that to be hot. Get that going until it's aromatic. You can really smell it, and then all the bits of garlic start to turn a little brown. Cameraman's coughing now, as is gonna happen when you saute chilies. Okay, in goes the fish. Cha, see? That's the cha part of this. Now what you want to do at this point is toss it really quickly. You've only got a small window when you can toss the fish until when it starts to cook, it'll start to crumble quickly. And goes in with your seasoning, the remaining fish sauce, some sugar to cut the salt, a little bit of water. When you're stir frying, always have a little bit of water on hand to use as lubrication. It's also good when your pan is getting really hot and you are starting to burn certain things. Adding a splash of water sort of cools everything down instantly. And it's also good for controlling the amount of sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna add my grachai and my peppercorns. Toss it one last time while my fish is still somewhat sturdy. And then let it cook. Now, if you don't want to be so delicate with the fish, like if you're stir frying raw fish, you always need to be gentle. If you don't want to be gentle, you can also deep fry the fish first, dredge it in a little bit of flour, just a very light coating. Deep fry them until it's golden and crispy and firm on the outside. Then you can really just toss it and not have to worry about the fish falling apart. But you know, it's a weeknight dinner. If it does fall apart, no big deal. Now you can tell when it's done when the fish is starting to flake. Like if you see this one, fish is starting to flake now. So this should be good. Don't want to cook fish too much, especially halibut. Go in with your Thai basil, quickly. And then one quick final toss. And that's it. It's done. Let's plate. Gosh, I wish you could smell it through the camera. So good. Oh, and this halibut is awesome. It's nice and firm. And you can put more water to get, or stock, use stock if you want, to get more sauce in. But I don't actually like this one too saucy. If you want more sauce, you would have to also up the seasoning. So add more fish sauce and sugar just to make up for the dilution. Ooh, that looks so good. And so if you are want to serve this at somewhat of a fancy dinner, sear some scallops so they're nice and brown and then toss them in. Delicious. Okay. Clean, super clean flavor, and it's really refreshing, but it's hot. Trust me, it's hot. But at the same time, it's really simple. If you notice, the seasoning was just fish sauce and a little bit of sugar to cut the salt, but you don't really taste any sweetness here. But the simplicity of the seasoning is the reason why you can really taste all the herbs, all the aroma, the basil, the gachai, the peppercorns. This is something you'll never get sick of. You can have this every day because it's so light, so healthy. You can have it over rice, you can have it over quinoa. So good. Anyway, so that's that. I hope you get a chance to make this. So easy, so simple. If you want the recipe, you know where to go, hotthaikitchen.com. If you get a chance to make this, write me and tell me how it goes, either Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or through my website. And if you enjoy the show, please click to subscribe, and I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.